Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends. We finally get a proper look at the Jean-Claude Van Damme skin in Mortal Kombat 1. So yes, it is cool enough that we have a skin for Johnny Cage specifically. That's Jean-Claude Van Damme, right? But the real cool thing is this is a story 30-some years in the making. So Mortal Kombat 1 being the grand reboot of the franchise, bringing us back to, well, 1, I guess sort of fitting that they now have the character that was the inspiration for Mortal Kombat to begin with. So let's talk about that, and of course, also some notes about the trailer itself. So yeah, I guess let's rewind all the way back to the beginning. So in case you do not know the story, Mortal Kombat is heavily inspired by the movie Bloodsport, the 1988 Jean-Claude Van Damme classic, and also, just to put it out there, my favorite movie of all time, which makes sense because, you know, I don't think you can be a big fighting game guy and not love that movie. A martial arts tournament full of all sorts of styles and peoples all over the world. World warriors, you could perhaps call them, right? Yeah, so there's a lot to love there. Not the least of which, as far as I'm concerned, Bloodsport is the canonical birth of the fighting game community itself, as the lasting friendship of Frank Dukes and Ray Jackson is forged through fighting games. Without fighting games, they wouldn't have known each other and become friends, and without them becoming friends, that's like half the emotional arc of the movie. And once again, this is back in '88, right? So this is long before Street Fighter 2 ever showed up, obviously long before Mortal Kombat, because Mortal Kombat was inspired by Bloodsport, and just, it's good times all around. So the one thing here, I guess, about Mortal Kombat as a franchise was it was originally meant to be a vehicle. That was the plan for Jean-Claude Van Damme. They wanted Jean-Claude Van Damme to be the star of the game. Before it was Mortal Kombat, the idea of the game was it was going to be called Kumite, obviously Bloodsport inspired, and if they could get Jean-Claude, they were just going to call the game Van Damme. And obviously, things didn't exactly pan out, right? So Mortal Kombat eventually became the Mortal Kombat we know, and we had Johnny Cage, who was very much inspired by Jean-Claude Van Damme, the martial artist actor, and even his look is a direct inspiration from Jean-Claude's look in Bloodsport. The trunks with the red sash is a direct play on Frank Duke's look with the trunks and the yellow sash when he fights Chong Li at the end. And Johnny Cage's most signature move, the nut punch, well, that also directly comes from Bloodsport. It's one of the highlights of the movie, the splits into the ball punch. You really need to watch Bloodsport if you haven't already, because fighting games owe a lot to this movie. So that little history lesson out of the way, the trailer. So Jean-Claude is wearing the Mortal Kombat 1 Johnny Cage inspired trunks and red sash, although hopefully there's an alternate with the yellow sash, so it can be just like Bloodsport itself. All the lines are done by Jean-Claude himself as well.
I finally meet Hollywood Boulevard Johnny.
Although expected to be mostly Johnny's lines, like probably not any actual Jean-Claude lines himself, like say the Dimitri Vegas skin, although expected to be a lot better than that. And I'm certain lines will sound a little weird coming out of Jean-Claude when they're meant for quote-unquote Johnny Cage, but hey, that's what happens when you have stunt casting. Now, most of the trailer is Johnny, and we've seen Johnny, right? But there is a few things that are very interesting. Like we get to see cameo Scorpion again. So one of the cameo Scorpion moves is a straight up ground bounce. So combo potential to say the least, right? And I do like the smart use of it here. So he uses it in the trailer to go safely into Star Power. So Star Power for Johnny, an incredibly powerful mechanic, absolutely. But the startup on it is absolute death. And you'll probably get beat up for even attempting to go in it. But if the enemy's in a long bounce animation, then you don't got to worry so much now, do you, right? You can safely go into it and then pressure after the fact. So smart usage of the assist and the mechanic here in the trailer. And then afterwards, you know, we're showing off fancy hype mode combos with a bunch of special cancels. And Johnny's going to do a lot of damage in this mode, so it's cool to highlight it because that's what the character's basically all about in MK1. And a little more sass in the trailer here. Micro-ducking a high just to get the full punish, right? That's the cool, fun stuff that we'll be doing in-game. So it's not just, you know, trailer-only magic. After this, we can see Johnny going for the counter, more fancy combos, and Scorpion returns with the up fireballs that we saw just in the Natara trailer. And again, ambush assist call, so going to be very useful. Now, as a trailer, we're not learning too many new things here, because once again, JCVD is just Johnny Cage, and he's been playable in the betas before. So a lot of the cool stuff is from Scorpion, like we now get to see the full fatal blow from Scorpion, and actually, I'm pretty impressed. I'm not gonna lie, Scorpion's not my favorite character, but the part here where he just comes down on you and just breathes fire on you. That's pretty sick, I'm not gonna lie. That's actually really, really cool. And the last little bit of this trailer that's interesting is the fatality. Now, obviously, I can't show you the fatality in full. It is really cool. But I guess lore implications, which is weird in a video about the skin. So the fatality begins with the shadow kick, right? Except in Mortal Kombat 1, Johnny's shadow kick isn't quite the same shadow kick we know, right? He doesn't have any shadow moves or any green energy. He has like some particle effects, but he's not quite the Johnny Cage we all know and love yet. But here it is the proper shadow kick. And before he does it, he's sort of like, for lack of a more elegant term, he's sort of glitching out, I guess you could say. Like he's prepping it. So maybe over the course of the story, he learns how to do the shadow moves and gets green energy. We don't know. I'm speculating. Because this is certainly the classic shadow kick in a game where he doesn't have the classic shadow kick. He has the kick, the move, but it's not quite the shadow kick we know from all the other games, right? And as for the fatality, it involves the car as you've seen and an explosion, and it is pretty cool, but I can't show you because it's YouTube. I'm sorry. Anyways, though, that is Jean-Claude Van Damme for Mortal Kombat 1. Our first, maybe first of many, premiere skins. Might be more celebrities in the future, who knows? At the very least of which, John Cena will definitely be Peacemaker, as they told us when I was at my trip at NetherRealm Studios that he was there for face capture. So we'll have at least one more celebrity in the game, I guess. But yeah, very interesting stuff. Mortal Kombat right around the corner. We are less than a week away from launch. And of course, come launch, combos, guys, tutorials, all that good stuff. I got your back. Don't worry. I'll do my best to make sure you have the best Mortal Kombat 1 experience that you can. And well, until then, that's it for the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Mortal Kombat.
This is the love we can